Once again, very good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to talk about a new topic, elastic disk provision architecture. So already we have seen the elastic resources. This elastic is resource capacity. Now this is deals with disk provisioning. Now resources, one of the part is the disk, where we have a lot of different resources. Among that, one of the resource is disk, and we are talking about the provisioning. Provisioning means on based on the need base we are going to be using that. Now this elastic disk provisioning, how it will be handled, which one is the best one, like whether we can go for a cloud based provisioning or we can go for the elastic disk provisioning over there. Let me have a glance over this. Before going to start this, let me have see why we require this. Now as the we, that is cloud consumers, are commonly charged for cloud based storage spaces. This is already aware. So it is based on the fixed disk storage. Fixed disk storage in the sense, say for example, this charges whatever it is going to be charging for us is a charges predetermined by disk capacity, but not aligned with the actual data storage consumption. Meaning here is, you are going to be purchase some space in the cloud, but if you utilizes that space, say for example, you have purchased 20 GB of space in the cloud, but you have consumption of that, means utilization of that is only 10 GB. They will charge for 20 GB of the space. They not charge for 10 GB of the space. Based on the consumption is not, they will be not bother about that. They are charged for the predetermined by the disk capacity. What is the capacity you have taken for that disk capacity, and not for the utilization, means not for the consumption what you have done. So that is the one, because it is a fixed disk storage allocations you have done. So and so cloud consumer one, this is the space. Cloud consumer two, this is the space. This is the resources they are utilizing. Now as part of this, if you see, observe carefully in this figure, here it is figure shows about the total 5 different steps. See the first step. Here the first step talks about the first step. The cloud consumer requests a virtual server with the 3 hard disks, each with the capacity of 150 GB. So 150, 150, 150, total 450 GB of hard disk. Totally a 450 GB of hard disk has requested. That is a requested virtual server with 3 different, 1, 2, 3 different 150 GB hard disk over there. Right. So out of this 3, once it is received, the third step is this is the first step, right? The second step, let me see. The virtual server is provisioned according to the elastic disk provisioning architecture with a total of 450 disk space. So this is a total disk space of 450 GB. This is a total 3. That is 450 GB of this. Okay. Now the third step, here the third step. The second step is over. This is the third step. The third step talks about the 450 GB is allocated to the virtual server by the cloud provider. Now, once it is done, the cloud provider to the virtual server, it is going to be allocated. That is the third. 1, 2, 3, 150s. The fourth step, here the fourth step, is talking about the cloud consumer has not installed any software yet, meaning the actual used space is currently 0 GB. This is the fourth step. Step number 4. And fifth step, this is the fifth step here. Because the 450 GB is already allocated and reserved for the cloud consumer, it will be charged for 450 disk as the point allocation of this. It is not charged for the 0 GB. It's charged for 150, 450 GB of disk it is going to be allocated. So this figure roughly showing that how it is going to be allocating once the request by the cloud consumer requested a virtual server of having the 3 different disks, how it is going to be allocating this resources. This is a memory resources, right? So these are the hard disk shapes, how it will look like hard disk, right? So the second step, once it is done, provision means how much we require. Who requested how much? That is cloud consumer. So he requested 3 hard disks, each of having size 150. So that's why it is a provision. And coming to the things where we are going to talking about the elastic disk provisioning architecture establishes. Now that is the last 2 slides we have seen how a disk space, how a fixed allocation space it is going to be charged in the cloud provider to the cloud consumer. Now, what will happen in the elastic disk provisioning architecture establishes a dynamic storage provisioning system that ensures that the cloud consumer is gradually, that is granularly, billed for the exact amount of storage that is actually uses. So that is a flexibility. What is the problem in this one? Even though if you're not utilized the full disk, this is going to be charging for 450 GB of hard disk. But here in EDPA, that is Elastic Disk Provisioning Architecture, it is going to be the cloud consumer is granularly billed for the exact amount of storage that is actually uses. Clear? Now, how it will be done is the system uses thin provision, like thin provisioning technology. Hope you have heard about the thin PC. Thin PC is how much of things we require, that much we can fit it. Like we purchase 16 GB of RAM, we purchase the 2 TB of hard disk, we purchase i7 processor with the 10th generation, we purchase Windows 10 above version of operating system. If it is all that much, but the utilization you are going to using for C programs, if you are utilizing the utilization for that Java programs, means it's a meaningless. How much of the resources? See, for example, this is for up to 3 years, third year, I need to be run. These are the labs I have. So these are the programs I need to be. These are the projects I need to do it. For this is my minimum requirement. This is for 2 GB RAM is enough, and the 150 or maybe 320 GB hard disk is enough. i3 processor is enough. Windows XP is more than means Windows 7 is enough. Like this, a minimum requirement if you define it. With the help of that, you can complete all the tasks. If you're doing the multimedia type of applications, Android or such type of application, at the time we require minimum of 8 GB and advanced technologies we require. So thin provisioning, nothing but how much for the dynamic allocation of storage space. Here it is talking about the dynamic allocation of storage space and further supported by runtime, further supported by runtime usage monitoring to collect accurate usage data for billing process. We'll see in the figure 2 how it is going to be doing. That is thin provisioning technology for the dynamic allocation of storage space and to support the runtime usage monitoring to collect accurate usage data. How much exactly 33.395 GB of hard disk has utilized like this for billing purpose it is. How it will be done? Let me have see in this. Let me see in the figure 2. Now here, if you are observe closely, we are going to talking about totally 5 steps. Okay. The first step, what we have previously talks. See the figure explanation. A request is received from cloud consumer and the provision of a new virtual server instance begins. This is the first step. Okay. It has to make a request having a provisioning new virtual server. Second step, this is step 2. As part of the provisioning process, the hard disk are chosen as dynamic or thin provisioning disk. As part of this, they are going to be selecting for this. Provisioning process, that is the previous first we have discussed, or else the thin provisioning disk. The third step, the hypervisor calls a dynamic disk allocation component to create thin disk for the virtual server. Where is the third step here is? Here is the third step. Now what will be done is the hypervisor will calls this thin provisioning run a program to create a thin disk for virtual server, right? The fourth step, here the fourth step. Now what will we do by the thin provisioning program is virtual server disks are created via thin provisioning program and saved in a folder of near zero size. The size of this folder and its files grow as the operating system applications are installed and additional files are copied onto the virtual server. This. So what will happen here is it is making some sort of the folders. They are going to making some sort of folders. All the data, how much of disk is required, it is going to be, see the connection, see the dotted connection here, disconnected to disk. Now from this disk connection, they are making some folders. Whenever the cloud consumer is going, that is growing up by installing the multiple applications, by installing the different softwares, as the space is going to be increasing over there, it is taking folder by folder, folder by folder. So additional files are copied onto the virtual server. As much of the applications you are going to be installing on the top of that thin provisioning program, that much of space only it is taking as form of as a folder, right? So that it will clearly shows that even though it is allocated 450 GB hard disk for you, if you install only the 10 GB of hard disk for the running of your applications, only for that 10 GB of hard disk only there will be charge. And the last step, which is the fifth step, as we said, talking about the billing. Now, how the billing has going to be done is the pay per use monitor tracks the actual dynamic allocated storage for billing process. So it will take care of. So see the cloud consumer to directly there is a connection, how much it is going to be utilizing. So to do this thin processing provision, we are having a hypervisor. Hypervisor will run a program as to allocated in the style of thin provisioning program. Thin provision program will store the data, they store the disk in the form of a folders. As the number of applications are going to be increasing in the cloud consumer, the number of folders is taking one after the other. Additional files are going to be taking into picture. Like this, they are going to be making the use of thin provisioning technology. And thin provisioning software is installed on virtual server that the process dynamic allocations via hypervisor, while the pay per use monitor tracks and reports granularly bill related disk usage data. That is the explanation. Just now we have seen. And the last part of this topic is elastic disk provisioning architecture is mechanisms. Now mechanisms in the sense already have discussed the purpose followed by architecture followed by mechanism. So we have two mechanisms. One is cloud usage monitoring. As we said, cloud usage monitors what will do is track and log the storage usage functions. That is fluctuations. Track and log storage usage fluctuations like pay and per use. Pay per use, how you can do is with the help of the tracking. So with the help of the log storage, how much of data it is utilizing based on the log file, they will be charged for the bill. And the second mechanism is resource duplication. Definitely, as it is an elastic disk provisioning system, we conversion of dynamic thin disk storage into static thin disk storage. That is required. So when conversion of dynamic thin the storage into the static thin disk storage, at the time definitely we require this resource replication. We are taking as a dynamic one, no doubt. But once it allocated, statically how much we require, we are defining that. So that is what the resource replication mechanism talks about. So what we have learned in this elastic disk architecture, disk provision architecture is, we have seen a problem why we have required this elastic disk provisioning architecture. To solve this problem, instead of billing for the entire disk is allocated, it is going to be how give the bill for pay per use of the storage, how much it is going to be utilized. For that only we can give the bill. To do that one, this elastic provision will be help in that. And we have two types of the mechanisms under this EDPA, that is cloud usage monitor and resource replication. So that's about the elastic disk provisioning architecture.